Hello, and welcome to yet another adventure in Castle Farmland, or what we like to call hell. So, I'm going to start off by telling you why the Kibler Dollar General can bite my whole entire ass. It used to be a lot of ass. It's not so much ass anymore. But they can bite the old ass I had that was huge. That's how pissed off I am. So I haven't been anywhere, I haven't done anything except take Mother back to the hospital because apparently my new name should be Dances with COVID. I'm trying not to, but every time we turn around, we've got another family member in the hospital. Not with COVID, but with other stuff. Mother's directly related to the COVID crisis, because if her doctor wasn't trying to diagnose her in the parking lot and without the computer information, she probably wouldn't have gotten as sick as she did. Okay, so we're already pissed off at the universe, right? I'm right there with you. We're all pissed off at the universe. Right now, everything fucking sucks. Okay, I don't need that much. As you know, I grow 99% of what we need right here. But there are some things that we need, especially with Mother sick. We were running out of Tylenol. We were running out of bread. We don't eat bread, but Mother does. So I needed to go to the store for a few items. I haven't been to the store in 4 weeks. Now, I was going, even though the last 3 times I went there, no masks, no social distancing, no compliance with anything. And I had one employee run up on me on the last 3 visits. Literally came running up on me, no doubt because my mask offended her. All right. So, after not being in there for weeks, going to the emergency room with Mom last week, turning around and leaving because it was full of COVID patients and it was a death sentence. It's like, Mother, you're going to have to deal with your shingles pain because we can't stay here. I finally had to go to the store. So I went to the store. There's a new resurgence of this thing, which is actually still the first wave because nobody behaved themselves here. Mm-hmm. When Len had to go to Colorado, the second week of this thing or the first week?
I don't remember.
But at any rate, there were 4 cases in Arkansas. Now there are thousands and thousands and thousands. Our hospitals are stuffed completely full. You would think with the governor getting on every day and telling people to wear masks and every scientist in their freaking world telling people to wear masks that they would be. But no, I went to the Dollar General today. Nobody was wearing masks. There were maybe 12 people. I wouldn't have got in the store at all if there had been more than 6 cars in the parking lot. But there were maybe 12 people in there, including employees, the entire time I was there. They ranged from old, middle-aged, black, white, Hispanic. Nobody in there was wearing a mask. None of the employees were wearing a mask. The guy delivering Pepsi products was not wearing a mask. None of the customers except me was wearing a mask. So why am I saying screw them? I'm not going back in their store again. And I'll tell you why. Because I was going to them because I thought they were the lesser of 2 evils with Walmart. But they can't be bothered to care about the health of their employees, much less their customers. I'm not going to support that kind of behavior.
Yeah.
I don't have to, and neither do you. Make note of these places that are not in compliance with what's best for your health and never go there again. Find some place, grow it yourself, buy it yourself, make it yourself, but screw them because they do not care what's happening to you or me or my family or anybody else. So, how do we screw them over? How do we keep the corporations from just eating our lunch and making us into a slave class? We learn to make do. We're currently standing in what is now Zeb's room, but was first my son the genius's room. Now when we bought this house was a wall-eyed mess. There were no floors really, none of the electrical work, only half the plumbing work. This house was literally 10 seconds from being condemned. We had to put windows in it, we had to put doors in it, we had to do all of that. And gradually, I initially fixed it with one thing, and as I got better stuff, I fixed it better. But a lot of the stuff that's in here was the initial fix. So, because I wanted my son to have a decent room. Okay, so there's simple things I'm going to show you that you can do. Okay, you got a closet. The closet doors have been ripped off. You don't have any money to do them. A curtain does the same job. It's actually easier. It looks really nice. It keeps all their junk and plunder, which is a lot of junk and plunder. I built all the shelves in there to hold their junk and plunder. But it hides all the junk and plunder. It looks attractive. It does the job.
And that was actually a used sheet.
And it was actually a used sheet that Lynn made into a curtain. So there you go. Okay, so the bunk beds. These bunk beds, which I made for my son, he's now nearly 40. He's what, 38? He's 38.
I don't know. I think he's 38, yes.
He's 38 or 39.
I don't know.
But he's nearly 40. I built these for him when he was 10. Okay? And as you can see, they're still pretty strong. There's drawers underneath, so that he had a dresser underneath the bed, so it doesn't take up room in his room. They're great big drawers. They hold a lot of stuff.
And there were no monsters under his bed.
There were no monsters. I never had it underneath his bed because I didn't want him to think there were boogers under there. So there you go. This was every bit of it. In fact, if you'll take an underneath shot, you can see that's the kind of crap it's actually built out of. It's all built out of garbage. This was actually, most of this was the molds for pouring concrete for bridges.
The forms, yeah.
It was the forms and molds for pouring bridges that we got a whole truckload of. Okay, and there's lots of other little neat knicky-knacky, bricky-bracky things. See these boxes? You'll see some of these all over our houses. These were 7-Up crates that I bought at a flea market for $1 a piece. So I used them to do a lot of stuff with. Okay, this little shadow box back here that the baby has all his stuff in, that we got for $1 at a yard sale and painted it. Okay, this desk is all made for pieces parts. Okay, as you can see, the end part and that section in there are some more of the this is a 7-Up box on its front with the box parts set up, and then there's 2 more, and then I cut this one down and I built this desk, all recycled material, all stuff that was thrown away at one point. These were actually shelves they were the only shelves in the kitchen. The renters had torn the cabinets out and burnt them for firewood, and then they had just stuck these up in there. So I actually took this and turned it upside down because I liked it better with the little catch thing down here. So the little catch things to hold the stuff and keep it from falling out. So I actually turned it upside down. And then, like I said, just pieces parts. Now, little boys, they are very messy. So I wanted to do something that I thought looked cool. And originally the handprints were not there, or the R's and the Z's. We actually added those. The rest of it was there when Meyer was little. I did this so that it didn't get messy. I had all these odds and ends of paint, and I just did this little abstract painting. And then I actually coated it, not with polyurethane because it's expensive. I used acrylic floor wax. And it works though, because you can just wipe it all off. Mm-hmm. And when they busted, like Meyer at one point, he and his little friends were wrestling in this bed. They busted a great big hole in the sheetrock, and I was able to just fix the hole in the sheetrock and paint it, if you'll show them.
Well, I don't know if they can see under there, the lighting. Oh, yeah,
okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So this whole section was busted out. I just patched it, repainted it, and you couldn't even tell it happened.
Yep.
This headboard down here, or footboard, depending, Zeb likes to lay this way. That footboard down there was actually a piece left over from a set when we were working on the little theater that I just used. But the thing I'm proudest of, are these frames. These huge frames that I made with the kids' memorabilia were originally the windows from this room. If you'll look, you can see that I made the windows smaller, and I put in thermopane glass because those things leak air like crazy. So I put in thermopane windows. When I did, I saved these, and I made these ginormous frames for the kids' stuff. And so, like, this is stuff, these shirts here actually belong to my son, the genius. And these were Zeb's little clothes from when he was little, his little hat. And then there's pictures of the boys, Roland and Zeb, and there's pictures of Meyer when he was little over here. And that's my son, the genius, when he was very tiny. And then this one too, I just turned the other way. And this was a shirt that my mother actually made for my son when he was a little boy in kindergarten. And then this is some of the stuff. And see, I just put pictures around it. And I got some cheap fabric that had pictures, and I used it for a background. And that's what we did. And I paint little things. Painted the Spider-Man here. And I did those for Zeb. I painted that for Zeb. And then I painted the Minions over there for him. And so the thing is that you can have some really amazing things that make people go, oh, I wish I had something like that. You don't have to spend a bunch of money. There's no money in this room. There's a lot of love in this room. There's a lot of caring in this room. There's a lot of thought. But there's no money. So Dollar General, bite my whole entire ass. Until next time, thank you.